Tribute to Hollywood legend Kim Novak. Kim Novak, not just the star of incredible films like Hitchcock's Vertigo, she is a real feminist pioneer. She created her own production company and was the first woman to go on strike to get a salary on par with her male co-stars. 40 years ago, though, she walked away from Hollywood and hasn't been seen much in public since then. That's why it's all the more special that she is here with us today in Deauville. We are going to welcome Kim Novak on stage here in Deauville in just a few moments' time to receive her Icon Award. But first, let's hear more about her life and her work from one of this year's jury members here at the American Film Festival in Deauville. Please welcome the choreographer and director, Benjamin Millepied.
Merci. Je vais parler en anglais à Kim. Good evening. I was thrilled when I was asked to give this award because no film has ever meant more to me than Vertigo. And no actress has ever turned mystery and beauty into movement quite like Kim Novak. To me, she's not only part of cinema history, she's cinema itself. Distilled into presence, into silence, into breath, into the way light seems to hesitate before touching your face. I was 19 years old when my mentor John Robbins took me to the premiere of the restored Vertigo at the Ziegfeld Theater in New York. I can still feel the velvet darkness of that theater, the anticipation before the screen came alive. And then it began. Saul Bass spiraling titles, pulling us downward into a vortex. Bernard Herrmann's score circling endlessly, like desire itself made sound. And at the center of it all, Kim Novak, radiant, unknowable, human, and mythical at once. That night was not simply a film, it was a revelation. Vertigo is a cathedral of cinema, a total work of art, image and music, architecture and performance bound together into one overwhelming vision. To experience Kim Novak within that vision was to be initiated into art at its most complete, its most inexhaustible. Years later, I even went to San Francisco to follow its ghosts. I climbed the staircases, walked the parks, entered the Mission. Each place was charged, disquieting, alive with absence. Hitchcock had filmed them into eternity. But it was Kim Novak who gave them soul. It was she who transformed these ordinary sights into the architecture of obsession. It was she who carried the mystery inside her, who made them resonate forever. And I must confess, to some extent, that film shaped my own leaning toward femme fatale. But I'm not here tonight to hold Kim Novak accountable for that. And I mean in art, not in life. Yet Kim Novak is so much more than Vertigo. She is Picnic, where a single stillness seemed to tremble with storm. She is the man with the golden arm, standing with Sinatra on the very edge of ruin. She is Pal Poe, poised between giants, and Belle, book and candle, where desire is conjured like moonlight. Again and again, she gave us paradox, mystery and vulnerability, strength and fragility, presence and silence. What I admire most is her generosity. Kim Novak does not simply appear on screen, she listens. She listens with her whole being. And in that listening, she gives her partners a space to bloom. And in giving them that space, she glows brighter still. Dancers know this truth. A duet only lives if both bodies breathe together, if both give and receive. Kim Novak dances every role as though it were a duet. And beyond the screen, she carried that same courage. At a time when the studios thought to mold women into interchangeable figures, she refused. She remained Kim Novak. She founded her own production company, an act of audacity, of independence, almost unthinkable for a woman then. She fought for equal pay, one of the very first to demand it openly. And later, she gave herself completely to painting, to the solace of nature, to the freedom of a life wholly chosen. She reminded us that art is not meant to consume a life, but to expand it, to let it bloom. Tonight, here in Deauville, we do not simply honor an actress, we honor an artist. We honor Kim Novak, a woman who embodies mystery, transformation, courage, and grace. She reminds us that cinema, like dance, is an art of movement, of bodies and identities, of forms and selves. And she reminds us that the greatest performances are those that stop time, that leave us suspended, haunted, transformed. Kim, thank you for the images that will never fade, for the strength you gave, that gave you freedom, and for the grace that reminds us again and again why we love movies. It is my deepest honor, on behalf of the festival, to present you with the Icon Award. Merci et bravo.